This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, system is up and running. Yeah, today we're going to discuss about the topic called printers. Okay, printer means in SAP we called it as a spool. Wherever you heard word called spool, it is meant printing in SAP language. Okay, they don't call print printout. They call spool. Spool got generated. Output request, spool request. मतलब print request and output request. It got generated. Okay, in the form of prints. So what we called print in SAP as a spool, SPOOL. And when we check the work processes, the work process also we got a with the notation yes. The yes, S stands for spool. Like we have processes develop dialog for D, V for update, E for enqueue, M for message, S for spool. Spool is nothing but printer. Okay. Here what we discuss here, the way in which documents are created may be completely different when the output on paper is always performed as same mechanism, 3 steps. First is we create a spool request. I'm telling about SAP terminology. SAP first requires a spool request. The spool request contains a divide independent print data, which include admin information and actual print data. Spool request means what spool request contains. It contains administrative data. मतलब from which printer, which system you file this print, and who is the administrator of who create this print, and what is the actual data in print, like header of the print, like invoice, check, bill of material, stock. Any you give any particular header will come in print the spool request. Okay, all administrative information and actual print data. When spool request, when spool request, when only when the spool request to be output a particular device, then only output request created. Matlab you decided कि I just want to take printout of this. Spool request is of only 1 page, plus output request may be of 10 pages, 20 pages, 100 pages, 1000 pages. Matlab actual data is going to print. If you take as on stock today matlab 5th of January to 5th of January, it gave you 2-3 pages. But if you take stock for month, from 1st of any month to 30th of any month, it may take 100 pages. If you take bank statement for one day, it will take you, if it's a big company, it takes 6-7 pages. But if you take for a month, it take 1 hour also, it take total 200 pages. So depending upon that, if you take print of PO, purchase order, it's of 1 page. Purchase requisition, 1 page. Check, 1 page. So we cannot imagine, we cannot tell ki everything comes completed in 1 page. No, not possible. Because output request is actual number of pages is going to be print. If you choose 50 pages means output request is of 50 pages. But spool request contains actual administrative data which consists of only 1 page. Only 1 page. What it has got? It has got only data. Mr. X is printing. This is a check request. It is this from this IP is got printed, and header is check print. So 4-5 things you are getting: IP address, host name, and all. But output request, remember, it is a total number of pages which are going to be print as a output. That is what difference between spool request and the output request. Device independent print data from spool request is converted into print language that select a output. But we always know the print data. Whenever you print data, it takes all things in ASCII characters, which is not readable you also and me also. All XX, MM, ASCII characters, ASCII characters only. But device independent print data from spool request convert into print language. But it will convert the whole ASCII character into printer language that selector device understood, which is going to read by us. If it print in ASCII characters, we never know what is that. We never able to know what is the figure amount, what is the actual stock. We never come to see the numbers 456. No, it shows some ASCII characters where which we cannot find. So what spool request converts that out when it goes to output request, it converts data into language which user able to understand and read. This procedure allows user to display spool request before output request, and this you can see the output of what you're going to see before print. If you want to see, you can see the output in a log file. See what I'm going to see. I'm going to see 10 pages. I'm going to see 100 pages. I'm going to see that 1000 pages. You can see all in a print format. No printing. After once you said everything is fine, now you file the print. Now you should start the print. If user wants to create spool request and output request at the same time, then he has to choose print immediately option. So what is this now again? When you create a user, any user, layman user, XYZ user, any user, so there is an option selection of print. When you selection, you have to when you I discuss this in when we do the user creation. Just now also I show you when you create user, it will give one option to select printer. At that time, you have to select printer which I'm going to create now. Printer is same for all users. It will not going to change for any user. All 5,000 users, same printer. You have to select printers. There down here two options: print immediately and delete after output. These are the two checkboxes you are getting. First checkbox, print immediately. Second checkbox, delete after output. So if you select print immediately option, what it does, it it will create spool request and output request at the same time. If you miss to select this print immediate option, user is never able to print. You have to do some manual intervention always, every time, whenever he wants to print. So when user complains, like you have 1000 users, but one user complaining from some remote location, from somewhere from somewhere from like Rajasthan, somewhere from Punjab, he call you and tell you, sir, I'm not able to print, but till yesterday I was able to print, but today morning I'm not able to. But you get a call from only one user, not from 15, 20, 30 users. If that the case, then problem from your side. But when you get a call from only one user, then you are able to confirm that key. This is his problem, not your entire system problem. You go and check his user, open his user from your side and check whether this option has been selected or not. Most probably 99% this option is not selected. For some reason it went out. Then you just select and print immediately option checkbox and reply him that now please check. Now he called reply in 10 minutes like I am able to print now. I am able to print now. When it goes off, when you update your GUI, when you update your printer or you update the system, sometimes this checkbox goes. Windows have to do some window update also. That time also some things goes. When you do OS patch, which OS patch that Windows 7 client system you installed on your laptop where you install the GUI. So when you install this upgrade those GUI also, sometimes it went off. If you get call from 100 users in 10 minutes, 5 minutes saying that you're not printing, no printing, then you have to think a problem from our side, take an immediate action. Okay. The actual document content of spool request is stored in thumbsay. So what is thumbsay? Thumbsay is a temporary sequential objects. Temporary sequential objects is a temporary data. It is a temporary data. Okay. We can define a storage location for thumbsay objects. Matlab, like I discussed, a small company, big company, medium company. Somebody has 1000 printers per day. Somebody has 1 lakh. Somebody has 4 lakhs printers per day. The way to store all this data, there is a SAP given you option to store this kind of data in temporary storage. You can store it on file system also. If you want to store, You can store it on file system or at your database. If you save it in the database, then all the time in the evening when spool requests are going on increasing continuously, at that time you may face some performance issues. You may face some performance issues in the evening time when spool request 2 is core, like already crossed 4 lakhs, 3 lakhs. At that time, some performance issues may come because you saved everything on database. But if you save things on file system, nothing will happen. You just want to see proper space is allocated to store your temporary sequential objects. Store your object, there is a proper space. Okay, so here we can see you can store it on file system also, or you can store it on DB also. So what is the parameter? RSPO slash store underscore location. RSPO slash store underscore location is a path where I am able to change this parameter. Which parameter? Either I would like to go for G, either I would like to for DB. Now I'll jump into system and show you where is the parameter. You know the parameters. You are well worked with parameters for few days back. Like how to work with parameters. There is a transaction code called RZ10, RZ11. RZ10 to work, change the parameters. RZ11 to see the actual figure, actual content, actual data, actual number of the parameter in RZ11. So what I'll do, I'll see RZ11 because I just want to see what is the thing stored over there. What was that? RSPO store location. Na? See, everything should match, otherwise it will not give any output to you. Now what is the parameter? The default parameter is DB. DB means it's all stored in the database itself. It's all source in the database itself. And which table is being used for saving this? The table name is TST03. The table name is TST03. See, spool requests are stored in DB table, database table TST03. This is one of the interview question for 2-3 years of experienced person. If they fire one question on printer first question, surely second question they'll fire this. Okay, which table we used to save our spool request? The answer would be TST03. Answer would be TST03 is a table where you can able to see all the spool requests generated for the day, for the week, for the month, for the year. Okay, so we can specify storage location or output device. Okay, the SPAD. The SPAD is a transaction code. SPAD is a transaction code by which you can create a new printer. Once you create a new printer, that printer you're going to assign it to anybody in the group. Okay. Now you see we have one. When you install a system, the first thing you have to run SICK command. SICK. SICK. What it does? SICK will it will check the initial consistency of your system. It has to give the command no errors found. The output would be no errors found in the installation. SAP initial constraint check, SIC means, and what it does, it will give the output as no inconsistency found in the system. Matlab your system is ready to work now. This is the first step of your post installation. After complete installation, immediately you have to fire this transaction to know if any errors are there when I did the installation. Then you see one more transaction, SPRO. It is not used by a functional team. It is used by, sorry, it's not used by developers or basis. It's used purely by functional team. SPRO means it will show you the all customization. It will take you directly to customization things, directly to customization thing where they can start working on MM, SD, PP, PS, whatever things they're going to work on that thing. Then languages. Sometimes what happen, your user want some of the languages to be imported while installation. German and English provided by default. When you install a system, German language and English language come default. Okay. If I want to add a new language, you assemble to configure the new language setting. Like if somebody says Portugal language, French language, any other language in SAP, then there is a transaction code called SMLT where you can go and select the default or customized language. These are the default languages, German and English, and these are the customized languages which are going to do manual settings. You have to do some manual settings, okay? And this is the parameter where you can see that different languages. Which language? That ZCA, SCA, ZSCA install languages. The spool work process and the OS spool are running on the same machine, same host. Okay. Matlab you when I go to this SM51 where I can see my spool request. OS level also you can find the spool request runs. OS level we have a transaction code called dis plus work. Dis plus work I'll show you from where you can see a running process of all OS processes which are running. Okay. Now you will see how to create a spool, how to create a printer we are going to see today. How to create a new printer. The transaction code is SPAD SPAD. Okay. Go to transaction pad and create output device and parameters given. It will create one so printer for you for the printing purposes. Okay. And device name, how to define name? It should be a case sensitive and you can give 30 characters maximum. You can give 30 characters maximum for this kind of things. And you have to create give a short name or short name would be created internally automatically by system itself. Yeah, all this you're going to see when we install the printer. Okay, the device types, the page formats. Okay, everything come one by one. We'll see when we start the options. We'll see all those things. And today in our topic, we are going to cover following transaction code: SPAD, one transaction code by which we can create a new printer. Okay, and one week transaction we see SP01, SP02, SP12. Matlab we are going to cover 4 transactions today like SP01, SP02, SP12 and SPAD. These are the 4 transaction code which are related to the print in any environment. You should know all these 4 transaction code and what is the uses and how to use this 4 transaction code. We are going to see in details today. In spool administration screen, in spool administration screen, where you find the spool administrator screen, you will find this screen. You will find this screen when you run the transaction code SPAD. When you run transaction code SPAD, at that time we are going to see the screen for spool administration. When you click on display, it will show you the all output is devices. Like some company having 50 printers, 100 printers, the all printers you are going to see when you click on display, it will show you all outputs. Okay. See, this will list all output devices configured in SAP system. Okay. And if you want to create new printer, just click on add new. It will create a new printer for you. Okay. All this we are going to see one by one. All this we are going to cover when you start doing the practicals. Then you can see here how to delete a printer. If somebody wants to delete some printer, there's an option. Go and select output device and printer. You can delete printer from here. But if you click this after selection, first you have to select the printer name, then you press delete, it will delete forever. Then delete old spool log. The main important thing, delete spool log. Why to delete spool log? If you're not deleting spool log, it will automatically stop our system after 2-3 days, because spool area is very less in all systems. You cannot use some GBs, you cannot use some TB space for spools. So what happened? Most probably spools are keeping in system 1, 2 or 3 days only. If it's a bigger company, just for 1 day only. If it is even bigger, not only for seconds, they'll delete, they'll select the option delete immediately after output. Matlab, when printout comes, the spool gets deleted also. Matlab, always you have zero number of spools in a TST03. When you go to TST03, if you found no record found by you, it means the user is using opted option print immediately after printout, delete immediately after printout. If you select that option, then what happen? If you select that option, where you take 10 printouts, it will delete 100 printout, but then always the number would be zero, you will not find any record. But if you keep until you haven't checked the tick mark delete after output, you find some records 150, 200, 150,000 records. But those records you have to keep some retention period, because some what happen, if you take printout, so it's not all printed. You can take next printout immediately if spool request is there. If spool request not there, then you have to again go to all steps, generate spool request, take printout. It's again wastage or 10, again it takes 5 to 10 minutes. So everybody wants to keep their spool request minimum for 2 days. After that you delete, no issues. So what is the spool age? Spool age is defined by a company team. Well, it may be one, it ranges from 1 to 10. You can keep for 1 day also, 10 days also. If you keep 10, the all pull request you will be getting 10 days pull request you're getting always. But if you get 1 or 2, you are getting only 2 days remaining, all get deleted. Who deleted all these things? All these get deleted in the night time. See, you can delete from here, delete all pull request, or you can schedule a job RSPO 1043, which delete all the old school requests every day in the night at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever time you schedule. In night background job, it all got deleted, and every day morning once you log in, you can able to see all spools are zero from again start working. See here, this is my spool age. How much? 10. Here I gave 10. So you can give it 1, 2, 3, 4. What is written here? Old spool request older than maximum set age. Age of spool request. If I give 2, it will leave 2 days. Remaining it will delete. It will leave it. If you give 3, it will leave 3 days. Remove deletes. Okay. This is the retention period. Number of days would be 1 to 10. Okay. Which keeps us pull request in the queue. This we have seen spool request and output request. Okay. By default, spool goes till 32,000. When you install a system, any system, they will get only 32,000 records to print. But you can print only 32,000 prints in a day by default. It is useful for small companies only, startup companies only. 32,000. But big companies, they required 3 to 4 lakh printouts. Now, how to achieve that? You can achieve this 32,000 to 2 billions. You can go maximum to 2 billions in case of print. Okay, you can go to till 2 billion records. So we have to do some customization for that. For that also we have one transaction code YesNum, where you can increase the size of your this output printer. So how many pages? I would say I want 2 billion pages. So it will take 2 billion means nobody is going to print 2 billion pages in one day. So every day it will take 2 billion records, delete, next day again it's come to zero, again 2 billion, again delete, again 2 billion, again delete. So no problem, never your system doesn't go off at any cost in this situation. Okay, this is a SNAP transaction. We should see SNAP transaction here. You have to maintain the intervals. From what is this interval? मतलब when documents are printed, it will print from 32,000. This start from this number till this number. मतलब see, if you see purchase order, it will give you number 1001, 1002, 1003. Like number range is starting from 1001. The first number you have to set here. If I set here 1000, then here 10,000, the print start from 1001 to 10,000. After 10,000, it will stop because the maximum range is 10,000. So if you give here 100 and here 1 lakh, so things will start counting from 101, 102, 103 till 1 lakh. Then it stop. Like who use most of this? This is used most by the functional team. Consultants have POPR. FI teams have checks to be printed, bill of material, issue material stock. So this all used by functional team to set their number range for company codes, material, item master. Like even they created 40 to 50 numbers like this. Intervals, 40, 50 intervals you can see in Go Live systems. Okay, but you don't have access to this. Basis won't have access. Basis may have access to this, but no junior consultant have access. Only functional team leads manage to. If somebody goes and hampering this, the whole system goes off and nobody able to work, because if somebody changes these numbers, then the online system which is working fine, it will distracted because it's not able to find. It won't able to print because it doesn't find the next successful number. It won't find the success because you have changed the number range from as per your style. It will hampering your system. Scene fall like if spools for 2 to 3 days for backup. It all depending upon their total number of prints per day. See, I discussed this. If it is small company or big company, it's all depending upon you, your management. You tell management कि all these are going to happen. So they will decide. We'll keep for 1 day or 2 days. If profit, they enjoy. If loss, they suffer. You have a duty, you tell, sir, this is the scenario. We can keep like this. Then they discuss internally and come back to you saying that basis you have to do these things in our spools. Then you set immediately. If profit, they'll enjoy. If loss, they suffer because they have decided and they have signed off the document to doing all these things. If you do your own, if something went wrong, they will catch hold of you saying that why don't you tell us? Why don't you tell us all these things well before? So you have to be very crystal clear because see, you would never bother about a job. If you know something in SAP basis, thousands of jobs waiting for you. But you have to stick to correctly at one point key, you are doing the correct things. If you left job today, if you're expert, you will get job in next 15 days only, and that too with good salaries. Matlab, basis people never sits idle at home for 1 month also. If but the condition, you don't know how to operate, how to sustain customers, how to handle tickets and how to solve the tickets. If you don't know, if you do only transport job for 5 years, if you just create users for 5 years, if you do only printing for 5 years, then you were never able to jump. So join the consulting company which is implementing new things and they will allow you to do new things on system. If you work at, in that location for 2 years, you will be learning all the things in SAP basis and you can jump whenever you require. Okay. See, for this the scheduler background see this is my standard job of SAP. SAP Reorg Spool. What is this? Reorganization of spools every night. In that job, you have to define spool age. So it will run 2 o'clock every day morning, 2 a.m. It searches all as per requirement and delete all, just keeping 2 days or 1 days, depending upon what set you age. And which program does it use? See, delete old spool request 00, 30. Like all this, I'll show you how to set all these things. Okay. Two programs, RSPO 10041, RSPO 10043. This program which helps to clear your old spools. Old spool request, if you want to remove, you have to use these programs. This is the program, this is the program, this is the SAP standard job name. This is what I will configure. Now you see Thumbsay database administration. Now see what is Thumbsay database administration. As we discussed, Thumbsay means it will keep only records temporary basis, okay, and it saves data in TST03 table. It saves records in TST03 table, and if you want to see those things, you have to call transaction SP12 for the to see Thumbsay objects. Choose Thumbsay data storage memory location. Thumbsay admin temporary system will launch. Okay, Thumbsay objects have following options. To check number and size of Thumbsay objects, you can see if you go to SP12, you can start working with Thumbsay objects and see Thumbsay objects. It should not be more in numbers. If you keep, you have to clear the Thumbsay objects once you reach to maximum position. Otherwise, it will start creating problems of performance to internally to a system. If somebody complaining your system is not working properly, you have to check print area also, where the spool, the print things get overloaded, exhausted, and it will eat up a space like anything. At that time, you have to take care. Ki somebody has to delete this. This is a duty of basis only. This is a duty of basis only, who take care of all these things whenever things demanded. This is the location. I showed in location and all. The value is dB. Our value is G. It's all depending upon you what value you want to use. Span. Okay, span. Everything I give in detail. Num. I give some questions also to make understand these spool things. Now we'll jump on the system and do the practicals. Just give me 2 minutes. I'll back. Okay. I just have a glass of water and come on. Okay. Just give me a moment.
Krishna, did you receive that day before yesterday recording session?
No, yeah, it was not shared.
Yeah, need to ask.
Okay. Sometimes this IP gets changed, no worry. (4263). Remember that 4263. Configure here 4263. SPAD is transaction code, SPAD, to create a print run. Create a print run. Transaction code is SPAD. Okay, which will, after this we will able to create a printer in our environment. So here we have two things. If I display over here, it will show you the all old things which have been created till now. The newly installed system, nothing been created. If you see live production servers, you may find 2015 printers have been created already. Now here you have to go on change. If you click create, it will take you to the page of creation of printers. Okay, I'll show you one more time. See, this is the first page you went. Just display all your things. Okay, then all things has displayed. Now you decide, want to display anything, if you want to check anything, or if you want to create new thing. I want to create new thing. Just go on. Previously it was something like this. I went there. Yeah. Now I click on create. Now it will show your printer page where you can able to define printer now. Now give that print. I give name test print. Test is my name. Here you have to use, you have to select. So this is the SAP pin. This is the default printer from SAP. But when you register your system, take your system, you can select when you deploy physical printers, you have to take physical printer. This is the a virtual printer matlab even this is to configure your virtual printers, but you have a real printer, real printer drivers. At that time, you use all those things over here. Now, spool server means your host name only. Spool server is your host name only. Now, here standard printing we used to use local output device. Matlab, local output device means this printer we used by used for all the printers. I'll say no. Create SAP in print server. You have to give standard printer. Okay. Then nothing to be give here. What is the printer? What is the print location? Location if you create somewhere in network path, you have to give that path. Whichever path you pay. If you keep on, if you map that print to Z drive, X drive, wherever, you have to give that location. And what is the printer? Canon printer, HP printer. You have to give the model of the printer over here. Then access method is very what happened. This is a must field to be filled, otherwise it will not go forward. Here, second tab we reaches is a host printer. Host printer means here you have to give like this double underscore default. This is the must value. This is the must value double. See, this is double underscore. Okay, double underscore default. Okay, then here we should choose print locally. Either depending upon what type of print you want, you can use all this printout. Mostly we use print locally only, which suits the default. Default. It means what? It means what? Whatever printer selected or configured, people sitting across the globe for you working, you configure only one printer by sitting at head office, Mumbai. Okay, people are there, Delhi, Calcutta, Johannesburg, anywhere throughout the world. So all users have one printer for working. That is for sure. All users have one. The printer which is assigned to them, that will only work as a SAP printer if you keep this as default over here. If you keep this as default over here, the printer which they selected, they are working as a default printers for them. But this printer started taking SAP things also. If you give default over here, okay, then output attributes nothing to do, nothing to do. Train from also nothing to do. You have to just remember this thing and this thing. Now I'm saving my data. See, I haven't given the short name, okay? Purposefully, I haven't given the short name. Let's save this. Access method L is unstable. Trap device. Front end printing. See, short name is not specified. Automatically defined by the name. No problem. If you give some name, it will take that name. If you won't give name, then it will pick up from this name. Output device you have given, na? It will pick up some name. It'll show you. See, test print. It automatically take a test. Short name is a by default. If you give, it will take. If you won't give, it will take from a long name, a shortcut name. This data, I already saved this. Go back, go back, go back. Now I go to spool and check whether my things are here see test print. Test print is here. Now what is the use of this test print now? Where and how we are going to use this? See, go to SU01. We have user called demo. Go to change mode, log on data, defaults. Here see printer, print immediately, delete after output. Okay, this is the thing. Now I select this, it will show you the configured printers. All configured. See, these two printers are there. I created this one. I go print immediately. But whatever things I select, it will print immediately. It will create pull request, output request at one go itself. Now I'll save this. This is what where in user creation, user screen you have to assign the printer and output timing. Now I click save. The user has changed. It has configured with the new things now. Okay. Now just give transaction code SM51 example print. I will have to print this. So spool request 7900 is created. So cancel this and now check your spool request 7900 with this test print. So 7900 is there, completed. The it's totally completed. So this is the output. This is the output we are going to print because this is the screen of SM51 screen. See, I'll take a new page because I print this only, na? SM51. See this one, active server. You go to spool, see on active server. This is what I used to print. Okay, see this screen, match this active active servers. Okay, like this you can define print and you can see it in SP01. If you know the number, type the number. Okay, if you don't know the number, if you want to see all, just click on execute. It will show you all today's spool requests completed. Okay, now output request. Same thing. Now here you can able to see what is the attributes. Like it's of how many pages? You can see number of parts 1. It uses this many bytes and it saves in database. Because you selected DB na, it go and saves in database only. Size is, if somebody calling you saying ki my printers are not working, system is very slow, you check this printer also. Somebody has put huge printer of 30-40 MB to just cancel that print immediately. Sometimes it happens ki somebody put a huge print which occupies more of a space and other users get distracted because of that. At that time, what you need to do? You need to just select the printers and delete that printer. Sorry, delete that request which is hampering the system and telling user ki print this in the night, in the evening at offline time. Some give him some time or assign this job to some of the server which has no traffic, which is totally isolated from other servers. Nobody goes there, print goes there totally. Okay. SP02 output request, SP01 spool request, SPAD to create printer. Now to SP12. SP12 is for seeing the TUMSA objects. They show you what all clients you are using. See, I have this client, I have this client, I have this client in my system. Okay. What is the spool you're going to print? What print you done? What all things you are done? Everything coming here with the in system. What sequential data you saved? This is the temporary sequential data stored in table TST03. This is the output of table TST03. This is the output of your table TST. If I go to TST03, I'm able to find this. How to go to table TST03? Go to SE16. Table name TST03. This is your table structure of your TST03. If I select, it has got only one spool request now. It has got only one spool request. Like this, if you have 100,000, it will show you the all the spool requests which are generated by you. Okay. Now we have said till now this. Now we'll go to full administration. See here, it will show you how to delete old spool request, consider check, and spool request. Now I'll show you how to delete old spool request. Here see, if I put 3 over here, it will delete request after 3 days. If I put 2 here, it will delete after 2 days. Okay. Now I set this, whatever things we have, just apply for all clients and delete after every 2 days. If you found more any request, because we have given the specify the timings over here. Now see this one. This is very useful. Live servers. Okay. Here you can see how many clients being used. One client is being used for this spool request. Now here you see users. How many users are there? If there are 300 users, it show you all 300 users. All users. See what they have done. I put one thing is finished successfully. Total I print one. It print another spool request is successfully. You have to check all things finished and total number finished and total number are the same. If you find any problem is they are not printed. There are some printers out of 100 you printer. If it gives you 7 number, the 7 things are not printed for you. 7 things are not printed for you. From where you get this screen? Here, this is the screen. It will show you the total number of printers you have done for the day. All users, all clients, everything you're going to see small over here for the whole printer, for the whole day what we have done. Okay. Now see, what was the object name? I forgot the object name. 1 minute, I'll recall it. SPO namna. Now go to intervals. Here you can define interval. See, from 1 to 32. So if you want to increase this, okay, your number started from 1 to this. You 10 lakhs, okay, 1 million. I give 1 million. If I save this, now my things will go till 1 lakh records saved. Whenever they print, it will start from 101, 102. It reaches to totally 10 lakhs, 1 million. Want to display intervals? You can display interval. See, if I display, it will display, not will change. If you want to change, click on change. There you can edit your data. If you want to increase. So this is not usable for all the users. If anybody has access, if you remove 10 also, whole business goes down till you find this error. Okay. Transaction code is yes name and object is spoonum. This object is specially for spool request and output request. So you have to remember sname also and sponum also, where you by default 32,000, but you can increase till 2 billion. But I have increased to 1 million, 10 lakhs. Okay. So this is what I like to cover in today's session. Okay. I'm ending with my session.